The greatest day in the history of Europa Universalis is here because the German area div diary has been released. As such, we have the entire political map of Europe. The Germanic area was the last area to be released by Paradox in the Tinto talks. And now that we have everything including that area, we have a better picture of what exactly the map that we're going to be staring at for thousands of hours is going to look like when we start staring at it, at least. Now, there's been quite a few people that have made a patch up where you get all the different dev diaries and you put them together and you get the political map from patching everything together. I personally like Jumps 77's map, so I'll link his map in the description to his Reddit post. He's made this really good. Like, I don't even see where the different maps start and wherever they finish, so it really seemed like a seamless, continuous map to me at least. And I like that he also added the outlines of what exactly this area that hasn't yet been published potentially will look like, right? You got the outline, and he made a really nice little edge here. Europa Universalis Atlas 1337. This man put a lot of work into this. Check his post out, give him an upvote, he really deserves that. Now, before we actually analyze the entire map as a whole in this video, I want to go through the German areas first, specifically because that was just released. So we're gonna go back to the actual dev diary first and foremost, because there's really a lot to talk about here. Pavia presents this to us, and he says that today we'll be looking at the German map, everybody's favorite map. Let's face it, it's at the heart of Europe. Of course it's gonna be everybody's favorite. Look how beautiful this little nation. I've never what can anyone tell me what this nation is called? And also, can we take advantage of the fact that we've got 1 trillion freaking nations in the HRE that we could potentially be playing as? So expect a lot of gameplays in this area for the rest of eternity, from me at least. I also love to see how the development team is aware of what Redditors are doing too. So he literally says, I'm showing here a bit more of what the region is so you can have a clear depiction of how it looks compared to the neighboring regions we've previously shown, and so that the Reddit guy who is patching the world map has an easier day. Oh, they know, and they're nice enough to give a bigger ratio of the map so people have an easier time patching this up. The lands of Germany are highly fractured, to say the least, amongst different principalities, making for an extremely complex political situation. The emperor in 1337 was Louis IV von Wittelsbach of Upper Bavaria, because yes, Bavaria is also divided. He's married to Margaret of Avesnes, daughter of Count William of Hainaut, Holland and Zealand, and his son Louis is the Margrave of Brandenburg. Margrave is basically a special type of government, essentially Margravats, or a sort of a march, technically, as you had in other parts of the world at the fringes of the empire, with the purpose of civilizing the local Slavs, more or less, initially at least. By 1337 it wasn't that much, but still. The strongest power of the period is the Kingdom of Bohemia, whose King John, also known as the Duke of Luxembourg, rules over both lands in a personal union, whilst also being overlord of the Margravat of Moravia, ruled by his son Charles, and the Silesian Principalities. So he owns most of the schnapps in the HRE, basically. All of this here is owned by him, this entire area. Then we got the other parts in the west, so he is a fairly rich individual, that's for sure. And powerful. Rich and powerful. A deadly combination, some would say. The third contender for strongest bachelor nation is the Duchy of Austria, ruled by Albert II von Habsburg. He also rules over lands. He also rules over some lands in the formed duchies of Swabia and Carinthia. There are also plenty of medium and small nations all over the region with very different forms of government, which will probably make this HRE a very replayable experience, to say the absolute least. Let's go ahead and check this map for the HRE a little bit closer now, because I know that's something everybody's been waiting for, right? Brandenburg's borders are fairly similar to what Brandenburg looks like in 1444. There are some notable differences in the fact that we have Rupen over here as an independent, well, not independent, it's still a part of the HRE, but they're not a part of Brandenburg. Mecklenburg is also pretty well divided. We've got Güstrow, Vatten, Schwerin, and Rostov even as its own independent city. Technically, Rostov is one of the strongest trade cities in the Hanseatic League, so it should be a part of the Hanseatic League together with Lübeck and a few other trade cities around here. But yeah, Mecklenburg's got 1, 2, 3, 4 different provinces. No, that's actually more. So that's 1, 2, and here 3, 4, 5, maybe like this. So 5, because the Mecklenburg and the southern bits here is divided between 2 separate provinces actually. So I should say multiple locations, very much so separate in between the actual Mecklenburgian area. Wolgast is still fairly similar similar to 1444 as is Stettin. Stettin owns a little bit more of Volgast in the west, and we also have some new tags here, Kamin, and I'm not sure what this is, Reg. If you guys know, let me know in the comment section. Genuinely curious to know what that is. Rupen is also owned by Volgast still. Lubeck has some new neighbors also, a few other trade cities. We also have Holstein Rendsburg and Holstein Plun, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. I'm a scumbag, what can I say? Brema is around as well, Hamburg. So freaking many. Holy snaps. I don't think I even know half of these, to be honest with you guys. I would have to dust off some of my old books about the HRE to figure out what some of these are, to be honest, but it's just astonishing to, well, actually we can probably just check Mayo and Taxes or Voltaire's Nightmare, and then we see what actually these nations are, right? You know what? That's not a bad idea. Oh, it took me a while, but I managed to finally launch Voltaire's Nightmare after loading for 25 minutes, but that's aside from the point. Let's go to 1337, 100 Years War start, and let's check out the map. Let's see how similar it is to the EU5 official map. So we've got here Havelberg, Rupen, but then Mecklenburg is not the same as we have it in EU5's map. We do have Schwerin here, and Volgas, Kamen, Stettin is pretty much the same. Teutons have significantly more land, and there's a lot more nations in the EU5 map. That is wild. The EU5 map has more nations in the HRE than Voltaire's map. Like, what? Actually, what? We do have the difference between the city of Lubeck here and Lubeck as a separate entity as well. And then we have Ratzeburg. We don't have Rostov as a separate entity. Dithmarschen, we've got the Rendsburg, Schauenberg, and then Kiel, because the truth is that nobles from the northern parts of Germany, German nobles, owned the majority of the actual islands of the Danes because they were pawned off to them. So that's why it's shown like that in Voltaire's Nightmare, but it's different in EU5's map. So yeah, EU5 literally has more nations than Voltaire's Nightmare. I find that actually insane, like genuinely insane. Let's just look at this northwestern part here. We got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 it's like fucking 45 nations in just this one little area. What the shit, man? We go back to this, in that area we don't have 45. We literally don't. What is going on here, my dude? I'm actually shocked. I'm actually shocked right now. So how many nations are there in total in the EU5 map in the HRE? Like, that's a lot. Look at Silesia. They added, since the previous time we saw this map, they added more Silesian nations as well. Like, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 9 10 11 12 13. Wow, dude. I feel like getting aggressive expansion is going to be a massive issue now. It's going to be a bigger issue in the HRE than it's going to be in EU4 for EU5, because it's not like you're getting aggressive expansion with 20 nations. You're getting it with 150 nations. I'm curious if anyone's actually counted this. I'll do a rough job of actually counting this after the video's done for the thumbnail, but that is actually insane, guys. Like, genuinely insane. Oh, hey, you can actually see the Austrian lands owned over in Swabia, as the dev diary says. All of this is owned by Austria. This is Austria. This is Austria as well. This is Austria too, right above Ferret and Basel. Some more Austrian lands here as well. Oh wow, we've got quite a little bit of Austria spread out around the HRE. And look at that, Köln too. Oh my god, dude. 1 2 3 4 5 6 different areas owned by Köln, separate from each other completely. Holy dude. Imagine just unifying the realms of Köln into one big blob. That's gonna be a big... I'm gonna do that. Oh my god. I feel like the first 10 videos I'm gonna do when EU5 comes out is gonna be on various HRE nations. Like, genuinely, that's what's gonna happen, boys. I'm gonna start it off with Brandenburg, obviously. I mean, that goes without saying, right? And then we can do like all the other, especially the ones that are extremely fractured. Like Köln's just split up in 6. Mainz is also split up in so many. Look at that. This is Mainz, this is Mainz, this is Mainz. 3 already. 5, 6, 7. 7 different spots for Mainz, right? Wurzburg also is split up. 1, 2, 3 Wurzburgs, 4 Wurzburgs. Even Ansbach is split up in 2 as well. Bavaria's got Upper Lower Bavaria. It's got the Palatinate or the Rhine here. Got Passau, Salzburg, Regensburg. I don't know what that is. Eichstätt, Donauwörth, Augsburg, Constance, I guess. And also Augsburg is again split up in two. Freiburg or something, I think. Holy dude. Another issue with counting all of these nations is that I might count some double because the initials of the name and they might be spread around a bit too much. So let's see. I hope I don't overcount too much. No changes in the lowlands though, from what I can tell. I still have Brabant, Holland, Utrecht, Gelre, Friesland, and again Utrecht and Flanders and Zeeland as well separate. So from the last Evdari, it's pretty much the same now. Saxony does not exist. It's also fractured massively now. We got Meissen, Landsberg, Gera, Magdeburg, also a little bit split up. Lusatia as well here. The Sorbian people, right? That's where the Sorbians come from originally, in Lusatia, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it Lusatians? I'm not sure. The Dynasty map mode will introduce us to a wide range of Wittelsbach possessions, including in Brandenburg, which recently came under possession of the Wittelsbach dynasty for a short period of time before being gone on over to the Chanikum Hohenzollerns. I talked about this in one of my previous history videos about 1337. I'll link that in the description if you're interested in knowing more about this particular topic. We also have the Luxembourg in Luxembourg, as well as other parts of West Germany, and of course, as mentioned by Pavia himself as well, in the Czech Republic, in, well, Bohemia. I forgot it's 1337, not modern day times, as well as in Moravia. Habsburgs also own Austria proper, as well as Styria, which begs the question, why is Styria not on the map? I just realized that. Styria is not on the map, guys. Although Styria was a personal union of the Austrian Habsburgs in 1337, and technically should be shown as a separate entity in a PU under the Austrians. Maybe that's done for balancing purposes, to make the Austrians not completely die out in the game or something. I don't know. Let's see what Pavia has to say. Dynastic map of the HRE gives a nice picture of the situation explained in the previous one. The von Wittelsbach, the Luxembourg, John of Bohemia is considered a French culture, therefore it uses the French toponym article the. If you would be changed to the German culture, then it would be von Luxembourg dynasty, and von Habsburg covers much of the map. You may note that Wittelsbach also rules 5 different countries: Upper Bavaria, Lower Bavaria, Palatinate, the Rhine, Brandenburg. Am I wrong? Is it not 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one does he rule? I'm okay. Am I not the only one with dyslexia in this video? Whilst the Luxembourg also controls the Archbishopric of Trier through Baldwin, uncle of King John. Other important dynasties, although in secondary position, are the Welfen, von Mecklenburg, Griff in Pomerania, as you guys probably know, present in multiple countries to the north. The Ascanier, as in Anhalt, controls much of the upper part of Saxony, whilst the rest is in the hands of the von Wetten and the von Gors, who rule over Duchy of Tyrol and County of Gorizia. So we have the Wettens here. We've got the Ascanier not only in Anhalt but in quite a few areas actually. Griff in Pomerania, most of Pomerania with one exception, with 2 exceptions actually, and Mecklenburg as well here. Welfen is pretty much the entirety of the heartlands of northern Germany. Wow, I never knew they were that widespread. Interesting. And I think I might have seen one more that's wait, is this? No, this is not a part of Wittelsbach, right? I'm not sure. Oh, maybe these guys are a part of Wittelsbach. It looks like the same color, right? This is what the HRE map mode looks like right now. So we have an explanation here. We reposted the HRE IO map again. Purple stripes mark the Imperial territory. So all of this is part of the Imperial territory. So we have the Emperor, that is a dark blue, which is right smack in the middle over here. Then we have the Prince Electors, light blue, so that is Brandenburg, Bohemia, and whatever the schnapps this thing is. Archbishopry Elector, so that's the archbishops, the bishoprics that are electors is Trier, Köln, and so on, Mainz. Same old usual suspects. 3 imperial cities, 23 of them apparently, and they're all over the place. Imperial peasant republics, we have 2 of them. These are the Frisians in the north, and we also have Dithmarschen in the north as well. Imperial prelates, that's 44 of them, and they are shown in white all around, like Munster, like Fulda, like Salzburg, and so on. And then we also have regular members, 280. That means we have a total of 350 57 countries that are a part of the HRE. That is way more than I expected. My previous video, I suspect is going to be like 300. 357 is just wild to me. And they say we won't talk about mechanics today, but it will happen in a future talk. So we do have specific mechanics for the HRE that are, I would assume, extremely juicy for everybody. This is the location map mode as it stands right now. We have detailed more maps for this. So let's check what Brandenburg looks like here. So let's see. We got Rupen as its own location. We have Herzfeld, Freienwald, Berlin, Teltow, Belzig. Okay, interesting. That is a lot of locations. Clearly the HRE was added to EU5 a little bit later. They didn't fully script the schnapps in before anything else was done. I can already smell that, you know. But yeah, it's wild how many locations. Let me check if they actually mention how many we have in total here. Germany has the highest density of locations in the world. I am not surprised. That makes a lot of sense, let's face it. As we wanted to portray the historical fragments of the HRE and the most detailed level of the Paradox Grand Strategy game, there's a couple of things that we're aware of, and we want to rework the location connection. Okay, as in some places they're not obvious at all, and we want to make warfare in the HRE not impossible. The transition between the German locations and those to their east makes it smoother. Sometimes that will be during the review of Poland, Hungary, and in the region. So they haven't done that review. Interesting. A final comment: if you click on the spoilers button, you may be able to see 4 more detailed maps of the. Yes, we already checked that. Yeah, I appreciate that. I like to see the mountainous regions in the north of Italy here. Like, you see so many potential tactical advantages you could hold by owning these mountain passes between the Italian region and the Germanic regions, right? This is by contrast the provinces map mode. Let's take a bigger, closer look at this. So we've got in the most important area here in Brandenburg, we've got Neumark, Uckermark, Rupen, Altmark, Kitzzy, Middlemark, Piritz, Horst. Okay, yeah, okay, that's different from EU4. That is very different from EU4. My question is though, and this is really vital by the way, will you be able to take individual locations and peace deals, or will you be able to take only provinces? So say if you already own the entirety of the province, will you be able to take just a couple of locations from that province like you can in Imperator, for example? Because if you can only take provinces like in Wiki 3, the moment that somebody has all the provinces, all the locations in that province, then that might lead up to some issues in the late game. But I hope you can take locations like in Imperator. That would be really awesome then. Now, these are the areas by contrast. We have Brandenburg, Silesia, Saxony, Pomerania, Hessen, Franken. Why are they so close in color in the south? Holy schnapps, I barely understand this. But I get the idea that they made lighter color the North Germans, bluer color the South Germans, and so on, right? To differentiate between the regions. We are currently not happy with the area borders. At least one of our German designers isn't. I'm not also. We should make Brandenburg include this area too, right? That's actual Brandenburg, and this part of Silesia should be Brandenburg too, if you ask. As they reflect more modern areas, so we will look into alternative setup for them with the feedback. They also currently use their German names, which will change to English ones to be in line with the other areas as usual. I agree with that. This should be more historical to the freaking 1300s and after, not modern day Germany, because this really does look like the modern day German states, like the Rhineland-Pfalz. Come on, really? Thuringia also is, yeah, no, this genuinely is basically, with slight alterations, the modern day borders. Let's make it similar to EU4 at least, or, you know, 1300-ish. Terrain map mode, we got mostly continental, oceanic, and subtropical in the north of Italy. Then we have flatlands pretty much everywhere with marshes in Friesland and Dithmarschen, hills in the central part, most of Bohemia around the Sudeten areas, and then mountains in the south. And then we have a buttload of woods forest around Brandenburg, around most of Germany, forests and woods actually, with some notable exceptions in the northwestern parts, which are grasslands, and a little bit tiny amounts of farmlands here and there, not that many, and very few in between for sure. The biggest one is just the farmlands in the Pannonian region, I guess, for the Hungarians. And now to the juice, boys, the culture map mode. Oh, misty eyes of the Brandenburgish. What the hell is this, man? What the hell is this, man? Why is this not all Brandenburgian? Why is it not all? I'm gonna make sure that by the end of my campaign, there's nothing in Germany except Brandenburgish. You hear me now? No, but all jokes aside, I like this distribution here. By 1300s, I would personally think that there would be a good majority German speakers in the Brandenburg areas. There would still be minority, like Slavs that got essentially wiped out and assimilated populated. I don't know how much Slavs there would be compared to Germans. I will look into this and I'll get back to you guys with more info on that once I find out more. But 1300s is quite a while after the conquest, and they were pretty brutal conquests too. So I feel like this particular area of Germany is where a lot of conflict might arise on the forums regarding the cultural makeup for sure. We have Polabians here, we have Markish, we have Brandenburgish, Kashubians, Western Pomeranian, Eastern Pomeranian, and Western Baltic here, even alongside Russian. We got Saxons, Sorbians, Silesians, Czechs, Moravians. Is there really that big of a divide between the Czechs and the Moravians? I never knew there was such a massive divide between the two. We also have a lot of East Franconians apparently here in between the Czechs and the Moravians, and a lot of, I guess this is Danubian Bavarians in the south and Saxons in the north here, Silesian Germans. Oh wow, there's actually a buttload of Silesian Germans. I just realized that's hashed out. So that's like 20-30% of Silesia is Silesian Germans, I guess. That seems like a lot, doesn't it, for 1300s? I would assume the Silesian Germans started making massive leeway around the 1500s, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Saxons also mixed in with a lot of Sorbians and Brandenburgians. Sorbians being the Slavic speakers related to the Czechs and the Poles. We got Eastphalian. Okay, that is very cool, I guess. Westphalian. Angrian. You know why they call them Angrians? Because they're all angry with the culture map mode. No, but seriously, make Brandenburg bigger. Give them like 100,000 units from day one. Seriously, just do it. It's historical, bro. It's historical. Everybody knows. Lower Saxon in the north, and then Saxon here. I always get tripped by this. Why do they all call themselves Saxons? And then the Anglo-Saxons too. What is up with that? Can everybody pick new names? Hosatians in the north, Polabians again, mixed. Actually, the majority of the people in Lubeck are apparently Polabians. That does not seem accurate to me. I like to see their sources on that. Like, actually like to see their sources on that. Same goes for Rostov. I would not assume that there was, because like Rostov and Lubeck were major German trade cities. Emphasis on the word German. Most people living in these cities were Germans. There would have been some Polabians, but as a small minority in my opinion. Then we have Franconians everywhere here. Low Franconians, Riparian Franconians, Moselle Franconians, and Walloon. Oh, we also have Rhine Franconians. And East Franc- Oh my god, how many Franconians are there, boys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Franconians. And then we have Upper Palatine, Danube Bavarian, Swabian, Rhine Alemannic, High Alemannic, because they found the ganja. Romansh, quite a little bit spread out. Romansh is one of the 4 official languages of modern Switzerland alongside German, French, Italian. Romansh is still one of the official languages of Switzerland. Many people don't even know that actually, and it's still spoken in small amounts of villages around parts of Switzerland. It's, I wouldn't say dying out, but it's kind of dying out. And then we also have Latin here, Friulian, Venetian. That's cool, man. I like to see all of these different cultures that I'm going to be converting into Brandenburg. I mean, what? I like also to see the hash between the different areas. As you go from one area to another, you start experiencing a lot of different mixings of people and changes from one particular culture to another. That's beautiful in my opinion. I'm not sure if there would be that many Poles, like a complete absolute majority of Poles here though in 1300s. Need to ask Levig about this, huh? The religious map mode is, as you would imagine, it's all Catholics. But we also have some Ashkenazi Jews spread out around the places. They're presented in 204 locations around Central and Eastern Europe apparently, and some Valdesians added with the last Italian review. You can see the Valdesians right here at the southern bits here of the map. And you also have the Romuvas in the northern bits here in Prussia, because they didn't finish completely converting all the Removans by 1337, that's for sure. Okay, now raw material map mode. I really need to take a good look at this. Let me check this out. So we've got wheat, amber in the north. We got a lot of lumber, a lot of livestock, wild game, all the juicy stuff. What does Brandenburg have? Brandenburg's got medicament, and even can get more medicaments early on. Some wool, stone, fur. Iron is a lot, but it's mostly either in Silesia with coal and silver and lead and gold over here. Oh, let me look at this, guys. This is gold. This is in Silesia. Lead, gold right next to each other. Coal, silver as well, and more gold in the classic gold mine of Bohemia. Any other gold mines in Germany? Copper we have around Goslar. We've got some stone there. Iron around the central parts. So yeah, Brandenburg is probably not going to be the richest areas, which is technically kind of historical. So I understand that. I'm not totally mad. But seriously, add a gold mine in the middle of Brandenburg. I'm just saying, for historical balance purposes, one gold mine and 100,000 units. It's all all I need. That's it. We got salt, we got aluminium or alum, horses, wine as we go towards the central and the southern parts. A lot more lumber actually around Bavaria with the wheat in high concentrations here too. Some clay spread out, more horses, fur. Let me see, do we have the Tyrol gold mine? I don't see it actually. We do have a silver mine. Well, technically the Schwarze mine was a silver mine, right? So I guess that's what this is going to represent. We got the silver mine and the gems. We got copper, more gems. I hope gems is going to be like really high cost, so Austria is going to be filthy rich as consequence. There's a lot of like very generic stuff in Germany from what I'm noticing. Oh, I saw something. Look at this. Look at this, guys. See this? This is gold. We got gold in Italy, boys. North Italy. I'm assuming this is part of Milano at the start. So Milano is going to be a juicy area to own. These are the markets as we have them right now. We got Bruges. So that was a change. Okay, they changed stuff. We have a new market in the lowlands. We have Bruges, Köln, Prague, Krakow, Lubeck, Venice, Genoa, and Pest. Main markets, centers of the region are Köln, Lubeck, and Prague. We have reviewed them a couple of times, and this is the configuration that makes for a good setup historical and gameplay wise. You may also see Bruges, which has been reinstated as the main market of the Low Countries after some tweaks. Country and population now, we got close to 1 million in Brandenburg. Whoa, buddy boy. That is really good actually. But that's 1 million that's extremely divided. If you look at the culture map mode, that shit is just all over the place. There's more Brandenburgish culture in this little nation. What is that compared to actual Brandenburg from what I can tell? We got a 1.5 million in Bohemia, another 500,000 in Moravia, 1.1 in Austria, 3.6 in Hungary, 300,000 Trier, or sorry, Luxembourg, and 700,000 in Trier actually. Pretty small amounts, but when you put it all together, it's going to be quite a lot of actual population in the HRE. And then we have the detailed maps here. Next week, we'll see the Maghreb, so that's going to be very, very cool. And now let's go back to this, because I cannot stop staring at this, bro. Massive shout out to this man for taking the time to make this map. I am in love with this. I genuinely am so freaking hyped to play EU5. It's unfreaking... I cannot put it into words how hyped I am for this. Starting from the east, all the different types of gameplay with the international organizations and how playing as the Russians, you're going to have to go away from the Golden Horde's Tatar yoke, and that's not going to be easy because the Golden Horde is freaking massive. Or you can try as the Lithuanians to do some schnaps, as well as the Teutons. You can try and get massive here. Then in the HRE, you have so many different gameplays that we can do, and so many different types of gameplay based on the fact that there are different types of governments, republics, and so on. HRE electors and the sorts. Then the French, extremely powerful if you like to, you know, have an easy time, as is with the English for that matter. And you also have the Scottish, which have the rebellion at the start, or the civil war better yet. The Danes, which technically are in a state of not much existence. In the south, we've got the Castilians that are going to go through some turmoil. They've already pretty much consolidated the Iberian Peninsula. But Morocco, Granada are still there, and the Marinids' last attempt of actually trying to get back Islam into Iberia is unfolding, so the Castilians have to take their time and make sure they take out the Marinids from Granada before it gets out of hand. In Italy, there's so much juice as well, with so many little schnapple dupes, a lot of banking cities, and a lot of republics and homelands of the Renaissance, which we're going to go into massive detail compared to how it is in EU4. Then the Balkans, which is everybody's favorite region, and which I don't agree with this because this is not historical, but we already talked about that. Watch my Balkans dev diary breakdown in the video. Link that in the description too, if I don't forget. The Byzantines on their last legs, and the Turks about to schnapple dupe their way into everywhere. This is going to be one of the most insane games ever, bro. Like, the amount of fragmentation that Europe has with 1337 is wild. I mean, actually wild. You don't have so many massive conglomerates like you have in EU4. You got huge France, huge Castile, huge Bohemia, huge Austria, huge Poland, huge Russia, huge Ottomans, and so on, right? It's not like that. Here, there's so many more different playstyles, so many more different opportunities for nations to actually grow big. There's still some big boys like Hungary, Bohemia, England, France, and so on, but significantly less than there are in EU4, right? Which makes for a very complicated and unique political situation and unique gameplay, of course, as consequent. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you're hyped as I am, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love y'all.